Stephanie, if you look through this critique board, you'll see that I'm spending a lot of time with students describing the importance of writing about your intent and your methodology and your conceptual approach. Let me talk about the relevance here. As you're submitting work for critique, you have a lot of ideas that you know the meaning behind those ideas, but that doesn't mean that your viewer will necessarily know those ideas, right? So you want to be as completely thorough as possible while presenting your work for critique, because you don't want something to get missed, all right? So if you, let me give you an example. Emily did a fantastic job describing designer's intent here, as well as methodology and conceptual development. Fantastic job here. So I can look at her work, and students and peers can look at her work and say, hey, based on your concept, maybe this would work better, or based on your concept, or, I understand why you chose this typeface, but maybe this could add to, see what I'm saying? So there's foundation behind the comments. Without a written rationale describing your intent, all we can comment on is the visual attributes. Do you follow me? That's why it's so important to describe your intent as a designer when you're submitting your work for critique. I hope that makes sense. It's a pretty important concept, but let me know if I need to clarify that, because that's something I really want you to leave this class with, so that you're not surprised when you graduate and get into a studio setting and you're asked to describe your work textually or verbally. Do you see what I'm saying? Okay, enough of that. Let's go ahead and jump over to the piece. I think the piece is a really, really good start. So some of the things that I would ask immediately off the top of my head are this. Okay, why the green background? Why the enormous type? Why the layered typeface with that kind of dimensional thing going on? And do you see what I'm saying? So these are questions that I've got. Why the, you see what I'm saying? And these should all be answered. Why did you choose this typeface? Why did you choose this subhead? Why does the subhead right align instead of left align? Just things like that, where I can look in and say, okay, I get it completely. Let's go ahead and address all of these. Right now, without that, I can only address the visual attributes. Okay, so that said, let's go ahead and jump in. Right now, I think it's super, super aggressive, and that's because of the size of the laureate's name. It's so big that you're almost not even activating negative space. Right now, I'm seeing negative space being used as leftover space and not used as a design element. And I think that points to scale. I don't I think the peace sign for the O is a wonderful substitution. So basically what we're seeing is we're seeing Bob Dylan, a legendary icon, and then a peace sign. So we're saying to ourselves, okay, so even if we didn't know who Bob Dylan was, we know that he's an icon. We know that has something to do with peace. That's enough to pique the curiosity of the viewer, right? So so that's a good concept right there. My recommendations are this. I think that adding the music notes is a little fruitless. And the reason I say this, remember, you have to think of the intent of the piece, all right? This is 11 by 17, meaning it's going to be viewed as a poster, meaning the viewer is going to be a considerable distance from the piece. If you print this piece out, put it on your studio wall, walk to the other end of your studio, you're going to see that these music notes are going to disappear. You won't see them anyway. And as a matter of fact, the contrast of the peace sign is also going to disappear. At a distance, you're going to see B. Dylan with the tagline. Does that make sense? So we need to increase the contrast here. I'll talk about that in a second. So recommendations. I would also like to see typographic variety by introducing a second typeface instead of using the same typeface for the tagline and for the laureate's name. All right, where do we go from here? Since I would use this as black, just a black O, peace sign for the O, okay? Now, I would recommend that you find a sans serif typeface for the laureate's name, and preferably a geometric sans serif. Futura. Anyways, Futura. I don't want to give you any suggestions. I don't want to give you away, but Futura would work just fine. Anyways, the reason I say a geometric sans serif is because the O is going to be perfectly round and it will fit in with the type beautifully. So think about a geometric sans serif again, maybe Futura. Anyway, so then, so you have Bob Dylan with the O, and then when you illustrate the O, try to make the stroke as close to possible as the stroke in the typeface that you use. All right. Don't use this. This is fighting. This kind of dimensional lines right here are fighting with the peace sign. So I would not, I would definitely, peace symbol. So I would definitely use a different typeface there. Then I would, this is a good typeface to mix with a geometric sans serif, so you can leave that. And then what I would do is I would just reduce this and use negative space as your friend. So take the whole typographic composition once you're done, reduce it, and maybe try to find an area that would really provide some interest in terms of negative space. Not sure about the green background. Now, what is the reasoning behind that? Just a little one, just really wondering about the green. Okay, other than that, I think it's a good start. Good concept. The concept is strong. Execution, we can work on a little bit. But of course, you know the drill from here on in, right? If you have any questions at all, please let me know. If you want to make changes and resubmit before Sunday's final submission, that's fantastic. But try to do that tomorrow because I will be away from the studio on Saturday. I may not see it. Okay, so of course, yes, you know the drill from here. I'm a click away. If you have any questions at all, or if I can provide any necessary clarification, please let me know. I'll be more than happy to do so. All right, Stephanie, thank you very much. It's a good start. It's a good concept. And of course, yes, please let me know. Questions are very, very, very important to get those in quickly. Good start. Thank you very much.